With the advent of the Protection of Personal Information Act, it is important for schools to maintain control over the personal information that they store about their staff, their families, and of course their pupils. To this end, Adam has a new feature which allows you to control exactly which scratch list fields each staff member can see. While scratch list fields obviously appear on the scratch lists themselves, they are also used on the overview pages in order to show information about staff, families, and pupils to the people who can see it. These privileges apply to those pages as well. If someone doesn't have a privilege to view a certain field, then it will show as blank on the overview page, or in some instances won't even show at all. So what we're going to do is a brief walkthrough of how you would customize your scratch list fields for your different staff groups. I'm on the Administration tab, and under the heading Database Administration, there's an option to manage scratch list field privileges. If I click on this and let the page load briefly, you'll see that there are a number of fields. I'm going to ignore the alumni for now and focus on families, pupils, and staff. In fact, I'm going to focus on pupils because the principles remain the same for the other groups as well. If I click on this, you'll see all of the fields that Adam makes available on the scratch lists. You'll see, for example, that the Adam ID field is available to all staff, and as is the admin number. In fact, if this is the first time that you're looking at the screen, all of the fields will be set to all staff. We have an exception here, probably by some mistake. Nevertheless, if I would like all of my staff to see pupils' last names, preferred names, and first full names, we can leave these set as all staff. The Luritz number, however, we might want to restrict who can see that and make it available only to select staff. So, for example, our Luritz number might only be necessary for someone involved in the submission of Luritz information. And in this case, that might be someone like the pupil management group. You can choose as many groups as you want here. So your admissions department might also want to see the Luritz number to make sure that new pupils are registered correctly. We can choose to show fields like age, but hide fields like date of birth. This allows us to produce informational fields for staff without hampering the security of the system or the functionality of the system. Even though age is based on date of birth, we can show one but not the other. Again, we can choose who can see this, and someone like the pupil management is probably a good place for that. Now, the lists of groups that you're seeing here are specific to the different servers and are specific to the groups that your administrator has set up. So I've been using the pupil management group. You may or may not have the same group, or you might have something that's similar. How you proceed and how you assign these is up to you. One thing to notice is that if you have the all staff group, it is not necessary to select any other groups. The all staff group will take precedence. Another thing is that you can have multiple groups, as we showed above with the Luritz number, and those multiple groups will apply for any individual staff member. Adam will look at the staff member, look at the groups that they belong to, and if they belong to any of the groups that can see a field, Adam will show them that field. Once you have finished with all of this, and I will admit that this is not going to be a quick task when you first begin, you can save this information and it is then updated in the database. If I come back to pupils, You'll notice there that those changes we've made are saved, and that now means when pupils, or sorry, beg your pardon, when staff members go to the scratch list fields, they will see only the ones that they have access to see.